Join us in a festival that promises to be extraordinary because Bali is extraordinary. Join us in a festival that promises to be extraordinary because Bali is extraordinary. Join us in a festival that promises to be extraordinary because Bali is extraordinary. Join us in a festival that promises to be extraordinary because Bali is extraordinary. Join us in a festival that promises to be extraordinary because Bali is extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Eva. I'm the host of A Soundtrack of Resistance, a podcast about the social history of Indonesia through the songs of the best band you've probably never heard of. an Australian living in Bali, and I'm making this show because I really want you to get to know my favourite band, Navicula, and some of the social and environmental issues they stand for, issues that affect all of us, everywhere. If you don't live in Indonesia, you probably haven't heard of Navicula, but they've been around for a while. In fact, this year, they're turning 25. 6 years ago, I went to my first Navicula gig in Bali. When the band came on stage and I saw them perform for the first time, it was like one of those dreamlike moments, you know, when everything slows down, all of your senses go on high alert, and the only way I can describe it is that this gig and their music blew my mind. Okay, so I do happen to be one of those people that's hypersensitive to and extremely affected by music. For instance, when I was living in New York and there was a particularly good busker playing in the subway, I would stop dead in my tracks, and it was not unusual for me to be moved to tears by the music. I believe that music has so much power to touch something deep inside of people and to move people to action. And Navicula, through their music and their lyrics, are especially good at doing that. Their lyrics tend to be about the big issues: corruption, inequality, environmental destruction. They bring to light some of the biggest challenges, calling out and standing up for injustice.
I refuse to forget.
If I were to make a comparison, I might liken them to Australia's Midnight Oil or maybe to Rage Against the Machine. And personally, I really care about these issues and work on some of them through Kopernik, an organisation I co-founded here in Indonesia. Navicula's music has influenced me and my work in a major way, and the way that I think about and approach these problems. So since that first gig 6 years ago, I've gotten to know the band pretty well. And as a non-Indonesian living here, their music has made me feel so much more connected to the country and to the people. I've gotten to know Robbie, Navicula's vocalist and guitarist, and the rest of the band, and found that we cared about and were trying to achieve similar things. Robbie and his band through music, and me through Kopernik. We started to work together, we've collaborated on a bunch of stuff, and we've recently produced Pulau Plastic. It's a film about plastic pollution in Indonesia that's recently been released in cinemas. I've also toured with the band in Australia and across Europe. I remember feeling so proud to take them to Poland, where I'm originally from. They had 2 gigs in Warsaw, totally killing it on stage there, and everywhere we went. Berlin, Vienna, Budapest, the audience loved them. But I still remember my cousin Agnieszka's bemused look and her question. What are you doing? Touring with a rock band? Are you having a midlife crisis? And she's not the only one that's asked me that question. Having worked in international development for the past 20 years, for the UN, the World Bank, and now Kopernik, touring with a band is definitely not something that seemed like a normal thing for me to do. But I love them. They sparked something in me, a new energy, inspired me to do things differently, made me realize just how much power music has. Power to get people to care and take action. So as my favourite band turns 25, I've been wondering, what do you get your favourite band for their birthday? And so this is my present. I'm making this podcast as my thanks to the band, my small tribute to them. In each episode of the podcast, I dig deep into one of my favourite Navicula songs and the story of why and how it was made. I speak with Robbie as he tells us what motivated him to create the band and give voice to those fighting for human, social and environmental rights. I'll also speak with Dadang, Palel, Krishna, the other band members, as well as the people behind the band and behind the movements they support. You'll hear how the band went from playing small gigs in the bars of Bali and going on to becoming one of the most influential bands in Indonesia, gaining international acclaim, signing a multi-album deal with Sony, and why they ended up splitting with the record label. You'll also hear about the sadder aspects of the band's history. including the tragic death of their bass player Made 3 years ago. Today, we're talking about Navicula's song, Metropolitan. Here's Robbie. He's the vocalist and guitarist of Navicula, the band that he started 25 years ago. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Ewa.
So, Robbie, what's the story behind Metropolitan?
I just flew in from Jakarta to Bali. So we are in the process of making our 6th album, Salto, and we are stuck in really, really bad traffic in Jakarta. So we fly from Bali to Jakarta. It took only 1 hour and 45 minutes. And the place we are going to is only 30 kilometers from Jakarta airport. It takes almost 3 hours because of this bad traffic. So I'm stuck in the taxi, and at the time, I want to pee so bad, and I'm pissed off. So heavy emotion at the time. I'm so angry, but it feels nothing I can do. I just feel stuck. But I think like, how if I just capture this emotion into a song? So I just take out my notebook, and then everything that I feel, I just putting all them down into this paper. Maybe because you write something that you feel at the moment, so the lyric is just flowing and the body of the song is just born.
So it's one thing to talk about music, but it's way better to listen to it. So let's hear Metropolitan.
Kepalaku mau pecah, emosi mau tumpah, kota ini parah. Jalan macet bikin gerak, di kaki gedung bongkar, bijak siapa yang kalah. Aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak. Hey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan.
So that was the first verse and chorus of Metropolitan. Robbie, you're talking about more than just traffic here, right? And I'm also curious about the title.
The title just pops out in my mind. So from the taxi, when I see outside through the window, what I feel, this city is so fucked up with this heavy traffic. And when I see Jakarta, like other big cities in the world, people come to the city with full of hope to get a job, to improve their quality of life. But when I see this traffic jam, this pollution, this mismanagement, I feel like this is contrast with the ideal city in my dream. I don't want this air pollution. I don't want most of my time stuck in the traffic jam. I don't want this quality of life. So for the title, I play with words. Big city is metropolitan, and I make it satire by turning it into metropolitan. In that time, I was thinking, maybe people in Jakarta get used to have this kind of situation, but I live in Bali, so maybe I have more objective opinion. Bali, of course, have traffic jam also, but not like this bad. Maybe if I got this kind of situation in Bali, stuck in the traffic jam, I just go out and take a walk. But in Jakarta, with this kind of air pollution, and some Jakarta friends tell me that, oh my God, Robbie, if you go out and walk in the city, it's same as you smoke 2 or 3 packages of cigarettes in a row. So from the taxi, when you open the window, you can feel this sticky, toxic air into the taxi. Then you just feel suffocated.
Let's talk about Jakarta's traffic for a moment. I lived in Jakarta for 5 years, back when I used to work for the UN, and that was 15 years ago. It was really bad then, and it's gotten so much worse. Anyone who's spent any time in Jakarta will be familiar with the word macet. It literally means stuck, and it's the common term used for bad traffic. Jakarta's macet makes it extremely difficult to make plans and to get anywhere on time. Jakarta is Indonesia's capital city with more than 14 million people during the day and 11 million people at night. And the difference in the day and night population is because of the massive number of commuters coming in and out of the city for work from the surrounding cities of Bogor, Depok, Tangerang, and Bekasi. This whole area is commonly referred to as Jabodetabek, an abbreviation of the first letters of each of the cities. And by the way, Indonesians are really into making abbreviations for pretty much everything and love to play with words. It's a big thing here and really, really hard to keep up with. So because of the high cost of living in the city centre, many people live in the outskirts, with the sprawling urban area of Jabodetabek holding more than 30 million people. That's a lot of people. And to put that in context, Australia's entire population is 25 million people. And size-wise, the area of Jabodetabek is about half that of Sydney. So each day, Jakarta's roads carry more than 20 million motorbikes, cars, buses, and trucks. And every single year, there's an increase of 11% more vehicles taking to the streets. During rush hour, the average speed on Jakarta's roads is 5 kilometres an hour, which also happens to be the normal human walking speed. For my Jakarta friends, it's typical for them to spend 2 hours to get to work and another 2 hours to get home. That's 4 hours a day, every day. And one question that anyone who has ever lived in Jakarta has asked themselves is, how much of my life have I wasted sitting in this goddamn traffic? And the Boston Consulting Group has an answer for that. A study they conducted revealed that the average Jakartan spends 22 days sitting in Jakarta's traffic every year. Just think about that for a moment, 22 days of the year sitting in traffic. And considering that a typical month consists of 22 working days, that's a full month of work time stuck in traffic. The Indonesian Ministry for National Development estimates that traffic costs Jakarta about $5 billion in lost productivity each year. So it's probably unsurprising that Indonesians are amongst the highest social media users in the world. And they also listen to more podcasts than the global average. What else do you do when you're stuck in traffic? I guess you could write a song like Robbie did. So Robbie, in Metropolitan there's a line, "Arrogant buildings fill this town, stepping on those already down." What do you mean by that?
So the building is the symbol of development. And also tall building is the symbol of social class. And people in the bottom is the lowest. So when you're high, you can have option, right? A chance to improve yourself, chance to fulfill your needs and what you want. But when you are in the bottom, you are just stuck and have very limited choices.
Let's hear the rest of the song now.
Selalu banjir tiap hujan, asap jalan jadi awan di jantung metropolitan. Orang-orang tak peduli, alam berkonspirasi tenggelamkan kota ini. Aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak. Hey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan.
Okay, so here we get into more of Jakarta's problems like the floods and the pollution.
Jakarta is famous with floods in every rainy season. Every year, many people in Jakarta realize that this is caused by less green zone areas, which is supposed to absorb the overflow. The green area were supposed to be more trees on that area, converted into business or living areas. And Jakarta is located in the lower area, and every rainy season, the water is flow down to this area. I believe this problem is strongly related to mismanagement and corruption in development sectors. But not only flood, Jakarta is also famous with air pollution.
Air pollution in Jakarta has reached critical levels, with Jakarta's air quality frequently exceeding the World Health Organization standards for air that is considered safe to breathe. The Air Quality Index, or AQI, is the commonly used indicator to measure the level of pollution in the air. Anything above 100 is considered unhealthy. In 2019, Jakarta's AQI averaged at 160, which is considered unhealthy for everyone. And a study conducted by the University of Chicago found that Jakarta's air quality is cutting 2.3 years of the average Jakartan's lifespan. Longena Ginting is the Director of Strategy and Analysis of Greenpeace Southeast Asia and the former Director of Greenpeace Indonesia. He's been working with social and environmental movements for more than 25 years and has a deep knowledge of the pollution problem in Indonesia. I wanted to hear from him, why is Jakarta's air so bad? Is it just because of the traffic? Here's Longena talking about air pollution in Jakarta.
Well, it's a perfect storm of pollutants. People in the city have always blamed the traffic for the polluted air they breathe, but it is not just the traffic which damaging their health. Thousands of factories around the city, residential emissions, construction project, and open burning of thousands of tons of trash. But perhaps many people are not aware that Jakarta is surrounded by 8 coal power plants within 100 kilometers of the city. There will be 4 more, and they will be adding the capacity to existing coal power plants. The emission from one coal-fired power plants will be equal to adding 10 million cars to Jakarta's already jammed roads. The operation of coal-fired plants is choking the citizens of Jakarta and turning the city into one of the most polluted capitals in the world. So while China is closing coal-fired plant near Beijing to curb the dangerous level of air pollution, Indonesia is doing the opposite. Jakarta residents already suffer from breathing problem associated with the air quality. A study from University of Indonesia concluded that 60% of people in Jakarta have a health problem related to the air pollutions. Small children are especially vulnerable as they breathe air more rapidly and their body defenses are not fully developed yet. Small particulate pollutants, PM 2.5. Breathing in the polluted air for short term will cause your eyes, nose, and throat and lung irritation, coughing, and shortness of breath. For long term, this microscopic particulate can cause strokes, heart diseases, asthma, cancer. Normally, cities around the world have seen air quality improvement during the lockdown, but Jakarta has been an exception. So though people experience bluer sky or even slightly fresher air during this large-scale restriction, actually there's no single day of good air quality from the beginning of PSBB, March, until June. Good air quality means that the air quality not exceeded the World Health Organization standard. And again, persistently high level of PM 2.5 pollution in Jakarta, we believe this comes from this coal power plant within 100 kilometers of the city. Coal power plant is causing air pollution and also climate change. And we should move into more renewables for our source of energy. We have abundance of renewable energy such as solar, wind, but this country has been locked by fossil fuel interest for decades, and development policies are also driven by this interest. And there's a lot of financials and political incentive also been given to this industry, the coal power plant, gas, and oil. And as long as this country locked by this interest, there will be no way to government to go through more renewables. Even the target of renewables been very low, and even that's not been achieved yet. Tackling Jakarta air pollution should be looked at in the big picture, not just traffic, for example, but look at the bigger problems and also development plans. Jakarta local government, they tried several strategies like public transport development and traffic restraint, network capacity improvement, etc. This is good, but not enough. The air pollution in Jakarta from transport, from industrial activities, coal burning is getting worse. The toxic pollutants are silently killing Jakarta and creating huge economic losses. So on top of that, the government should tighten the emission standards, put the human health in the heart of Jakarta development plan, abandon this plan for new coal power plant. In 2019, there's a citizen lawsuit of 32 citizens of Jakarta that sued government. They called for tighter standards and also regulate emissions, including from the traffic and also the coal power plant. Yeah, that's the good news that people are aware. I feel hopeful if you see in the past years. I live there, well, on and off more than 15 years. I see some progress. Some are using public transportation like commuter lines or Transjakarta. And now people can riding bus while seeing people stuck in the private cars, which is satisfying to see. So yeah, there should be more incentive for people to take the public transport and disincentive to use private cars.
The citizen lawsuit that Longgena mentioned was filed by 32 Jakarta citizens 2 years ago, calling on the government to introduce tougher regulations. In a landmark ruling handed down last month on September 16th, the Central Jakarta District Court found 7 government officials guilty of environmental negligence for the poor air quality caused by millions of motor vehicles and by the coal-fired power plants surrounding Jakarta. The court ordered the government to carry out serious actions to improve air quality in Jakarta and ensure the rights of citizens to clean and healthy air. So as Longgena said, people are starting to become more aware about the health impacts of Jakarta pollution, and their concerns are now being taken seriously, as shown by last month's court ruling. There are also more and more initiatives that have started to address this issue. For example, Kopernik, the organisation that I run, is also working with several others on developing a low-cost air quality monitoring system which informs people when they need to take measures such as wearing masks when they go outside to protect themselves when air pollution reaches dangerous levels. Robbie, in Metropolitan you mentioned that people don't care, but it's more complicated than that, isn't it?
I believe there always kindness in people, right? But poverty is so high in Jakarta. So when you are in this poverty situation, your priority is just what you can eat today. Your priority is different, is in the survival mode. And maybe easy for us to blame the people, right? I believe if us, in this kind of situation, when we're struggling day by day, just thinking what and how we can eat today, then the environmental concern will be less priority for us.
And you also mentioned that nature is conspiring and the city is sinking.
I believe nature's reaction is caused by an action. Nature actually wants to find a balance. Overdevelopment means no balance. I support development, but the ideal development in my head is a perfect balance between economic profit, caring for the people, and preserve the nature for the future. So the unbalance that happened in Jakarta, the nature will react back by flood, rising temperature, air pollution, bad quality of water. And I believe this kind of ecosystem is not balanced.
Because if traffic and pollution weren't enough, Jakarta is also faced with an ironic combination of being extremely prone to floods, sinking at an alarming rate, and much of its population facing water shortages. So only about a third of the city's population have piped water. So people resort to digging wells that go deeper and deeper into the ground to access the groundwater. And as the aquifers are depleted, the land sinks under the weight of concrete and buildings that keep expanding across the city. And even though there's plenty of rainfall to fill the emptied aquifers each year, because an estimated 97% of the city is covered in concrete and asphalt, the water cannot be absorbed into the ground. Instead, the water runs off into the 13 rivers that serve the city and into the ocean, which increases the rate of flooding in the city. Jakarta has also been built on swampy ground, and all of these factors combined have resulted in Jakarta now being the fastest sinking city in the world. Okay, Robbie, so you wrote the lyrics of Metropolitan in the back of a cab, and what happened after that?
When I wrote Metropolitan, it was 2009, and then I bring it back to Bali and record it in the studio with my band. It is a year later.
And did you have any particular musical inspirations for the song?
So when I composed this song from that sketchy riff, actually the riff that I made for Metropolitan, that I made in my head in a taxi, is inspired by a Nirvana classic song, I Had Myself and I Want to Die. So Nirvana's riff is like this. And that song is a song about frustration. Same feeling as what I feel in the taxi. Like, I hate this city and I want to escape. So I got inspiration by that riff. And I want to make a same vibe like that song. And my idea is like this for Metropolitan. So I think it's cool. It's stealing. It's not copying, you know. Like Picasso said, good artist steal, bad artist copy. I feel like I'm still in the stealing territory. And then when I choose the chorus, I want something anthemic. I always love anthemic song. And I want when we play this song, Metropolitan on stage, people just can sing along easily. Even they just listen to this song for the first time, something, a punchline that people can scream out like, oh, hey. So I got inspired by EMF's song, You're Unbelievable, oh! You're unbelievable, oh, something like that one. So it's come like this one. Hey, aku ada di dalam. It's like, hey, you know, it's same vibe. When making the verse, the syllable in Metropolitan lyric that I wrote have so many words, like it's like a semi-rap, pretty similar with the right side fret, right side fret. I'm too sexy, like I'm too sexy for my car, too sexy for my car, too sexy by far. It's same like kepalaku mau pecah, emosi mau tumpah, kota ini parah. So actually, the arrangement of Metropolitan is inspired by 3 songs. Nirvana, I Had Myself, I Want to Die. And the punchline is by EMF, You're Unbelievable. And the verse is taken from Right Side Fred's I'm Too Sexy. Once again, I steal that from them. Stealing, not copying. If I didn't tell you about this, you never know, right? Where the inspiration is coming from. So, when I had the fixed sketch, I shared it to the band and we recorded in the following year, 2010. And it turned out the song is really catchy. We love that song and we want to release this song as a single.
And once you released the single, how was Metropolitan received by Jakartans? What was the response that you got to the song?
We released this single in Bali and we shared it in our social media and got positive response by our friends in Jakarta. So they feel connected with the topic of the song, something that they feel every day. So they invite us to arrange launching party in Jakarta in a venue that was an underground music scene in Jakarta. I really love that moment. It's like a sweaty, teeny room. When we play that song on the last set, everybody just going crazy, they scream, they love that punchline. Hey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan. Oh my God. Just remembering that to that moment, I feel goosebumps. I love it. Everybody just smell each other's sweats. So packed, so intimate, and the energy was on the air. Everyone just simply loved the song and quickly become an anthem in the grunge and underground music scene in Indonesia. And later, Daniel Sif, my friend, and also your neighbor, produced a movie called Jalanan. It's about a street musician in Jakarta, and song Metropolitan became the official soundtrack for that film.
And then something pretty incredible happened, right?
Yeah. So Alfred and Lakota found this competition online, the road rock competition.
So Alfred Ginting was the band's publicist at the time, and Lakota Moira was Navicula's manager, and she's also now Robbie's wife. Here's Lakota talking about the competition.
Basically, musicians recorded an original composition using a Rode mic, and they needed a video showing them using that mic, and that would be judged by celebrity judges. So Navicula had this new song, and they were really excited about it, so they decided to record it as a single. We were pretty broke at the time and didn't have budget to record at a proper recording studio, so they recorded at our friend Ian Stevenson's house. Ian was our ex-housemate, so the recording area used to be me and Robbie's bedroom. This guy we met at a club in Kuta named Alan Abbott, he was a filmmaker from America, and he was following the band around, seeing if there was a story there, working with two film students from Jakarta, Patrick and Harris. So they happened to record the band when they recorded Metropolitan. Ian couldn't afford proper headphones, so the band are actually recording using like these bright yellow construction headphones that have been upcycled with some used old headphones that he had that broke. So they look a bit funny wearing these headphones. Robbie was recording with the lyrics taped up on the wall. They didn't even have a lyric stand. Our dog, Bento, was hanging around the room, and Robbie kept saying, "Let the dog in the room, his fur might be good soundproofing." Alfred first found the competition online and sort of casually asked, like, in that last video that Navicula recorded, were they using Rode microphones? And it just so happened that one of the mics at Ian's was a Rode microphone. So we had the footage there to meet the requirements of this competition. Patrick and Harris had a rough cut, so Alfred started fooling around with the cut, trying to make it presentable. It was a humble video, but a really powerful song. Yeah, we cut that together for this competition. It was pretty rough, and we submitted it. It was a bit of a long shot. I mean, this is an international competition. However, we felt that their music was really exciting, and I remember feeling confident. We felt like there was something special about this song, there was something special about this band, and this was going to be our year. And the official announcement came like, "Congratulations, you are the Road Rockers, the first Road Rockers." There was a community of people who were behind the band, and I think we all really felt that this band was one of the best bands in Indonesia, if not the best in Indonesia. Like we believed in them. We felt like their music needed to be heard by the world. It was sort of like our job to get them heard, and this was no easy task. Like they didn't fit any clear-cut type of audience in Indonesia. They were talking about really intense, really difficult issues, and their music was not so easy to sell. So yeah, setting this up where they would get this kind of this exposure, we were all really proud.
What about you, Robbie? How did you feel about it?
I feel like won a lottery. The jury that picked that Navicula song, Metropolitan, was Matt Sorum. I couldn't believe it, man. I love that guy. I mean, everybody in my generation listened to Guns N' Roses, right? And Matt Sorum is one of the rock and roll favorite drummer of all time, right? And for Metropolitan, his comment is, "Killer, great riff. I dig the realness of the video. Raw and cool, keep it up." He said that to Navicula's song is something, you know. It's really something to me personally, because November Rain was the song that I learned the riff when I was 13. I have no imagination at the time that years later, Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses will listen to a song that I wrote and pick that song.
I was actually checking out some of the viewer comments that on the video that you guys submitted, and I thought that this one captured the reception that the song got. Someone said, "I do not understand what you are singing, but I feel this song. I love it. Awesome voice, awesome grunge sound." And it just makes me think it's pretty amazing to think that a foreign language song would win a competition like this, right?
What's more crazy for me, the song that I made in the back of the taxi and film in my bedroom could win an international competition like this. This song changed our lives.
So what did you win? What was the prize?
Oh God, the prize is they make your dreams come true as a band. So Rode microphones, they treat you to recording in legendary studio in Hollywood, Record Plans, which was built in 1969. All our heroes made their historical album there. Jimi Hendrix, Frank Zappa, Red Chili Peppers, Guns N' Roses, the Appetite for Destruction album, Eric Clapton, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, John Lennon, and now Navicula. And also they gave us chance to work with our dream producer, Alain Johannes. Oh man, I love him so much.
My name is Alan Johannes. I'm a producer, engineer. I've produced records, Chris Cornell, Queens of the Stone Age, Mark Lanigan. I'm very excited to work with Navicula.
Winning this competition was a really big deal for Navicula, an Indonesian band that was still in its nascent stages of growth and figuring out their place in the music industry. And winning this competition represented a really big break, a new phase for the band, an opportunity to share their music with a much bigger audience, not only in Indonesia, but with the whole world. For a few months before the trip, the band was pretty busy preparing for their recording session at Record Plant. And there was also an additional prize from Rode microphones for the winners of the competition. Vocal training from celebrity vocal coach Rab Stevenson, who works with artists like Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Justin Timberlake, Snoop Dogg, and now with G'day Robbie. Robbie, what was that like?
They want the singer to be prepared because a band from Indonesia gonna sing in English. So they introduced me to Rab Stevenson. We are doing video calls through Skype. His working time instead is about lunchtime. And because time difference, Bali is midnight, right? And my house at the time, I live in condensed area in the middle of Denpasar city. I have lots of neighbors and I don't have soundproof studio. So I think, oh man, this vocal training gonna make me a public enemy. So I have to go one by one to my neighbors, telling them that, hey, my band have won this competition, and one of the prize is this vocal training. But the vocal training gonna be on midnight, it will be loud, gonna be weird sound coming out of my house. Please, please, please don't thinking that I'm practicing black magic or me have fight with my girlfriend. So I told them that, and my neighbors say it nicely, like, oh, congrats to be the winner of the competition. It's okay about the midnight training, but hey, this is just for 1 month, right? So then, in the midnight, you know, some noise coming out of my house, like, ho, 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 like that guy from Fire Saga, Volcano Man in Eurovision, or like a like pitch training, or we build a love bomb to blow the end away. We'll build a love bomb to blow the end away. So the training works, right? Or I refuse to forget. I refuse to forget. And in the morning, next day, I try hard to be nice to my neighbors, like, hi guys, good morning, sorry for the last night noise. And they just reply by looking at me with red eyes, maybe not enough sleep.
Okay, so then the time came for the band to go to the US. Here's Gambul talking about what it was like to record at Record Plant Studios.
It's hard to explain. It's like a dream come true, you know, like when you dream something and suddenly it's happened. It's real, yes, but I think it's dream. Oh, no, it's real. You can meet people that you only seeing on your magazine and suddenly you talk and meet with him. Yeah, it's the best experience. We can choose everything we want for the recording. What drum you want to use? I choose one of the series that Dave Grohl used for them Cricket Vulture, because I heard the sound is like, fuck, this drum sound is fat, big, bright, but woody sound. And when I check the budget, it's like, fuck, I can build a house, like a big house for this one set of drum kit. I'm really lucky because when we're recording in the studio, I have Chris Weiss. I think he's the best technician in Hollywood for drummer. And because he worked for Jason Bonham, the sons of John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. And I asked him, I need a bigger kit, a bigger drum bass. No problem, I can ask to use a Bonham drum kit. And that's time I used his bass drum. So that kit was maybe all drummer dream about had that kind of kit, you know.
And here's Dadang.
The most happy for me is like I met Alan Johannes. He's a crazy guitarist, and what he did for the Euphoria Morning, the Chris Cornell first albums, as a producer, the most crazy feeling when I heard that album. So yeah, after we working, we went to chill at his house. His house like gallery actually, with all the guitars everywhere, amps in the bathrooms, or guitar somewhere in the kitchen. 3 days after we together, he gave me one guitars, resonator guitars, like more blues. Like, oh yeah, I'm just jumping like wow, because he's told me he used for the one song in the Euphoria Morning as well. So like a perfect day that time.
So that all sounds really awesome, but did anything go wrong?
Yep. I have problem with language. I'm so nervous because I'll be singing in English. For example, like when we take the vocal for Tomcat song, one of the words is mayonnaise, like a scream, like a mayonnaise. And during the recording, I'm screaming mayonnaise, like so confident. And after the recording session, during the cigarette breaks, Alan Johannes, he said, it's pretty good, but Robbie, that word actually is not sound rock and roll. And I said like, oh yeah? And he said, can I see the lyric? I said, sure. And then you read it and then, mayonnaise. I thought mayonnaise. Okay, you sing it wrong. I still cannot say it right now, but the song has been recorded. I learned a lot during the process. Once in a lifetime, money cannot buy experience.
So what happened when you got back?
Yeah, when we back to Bali, all the material that we recorded in Hollywood is mixed and mastered by Alan Johannes and become part of our album Love Bomb. And also, our community in Bali, you know, they're proud that a band from Bali that represent the music scene in Indonesia can win this international competition. So, Rolling Stone magazine gave us award as the rock ambassador. We start become headliner in music festivals in prime time, not opening band anymore. We start to have opportunity to play abroad in international festivals. Like after America, we got invited to play in Sydney Festival in Australia. Yeah, people get popularity in Indonesia through mainstream media, but outside of that, you also can get respect through other way. We feel like the mainstream marketing is not work for us, but we can see after winning international achievement, when we back to Indonesia, we got like a giant leap. This is other way how we got appreciation from local music industry in Indonesia.
So you guys are really big in Indonesia now. You're really well known and respected. You're very influential, and most people understand what you stand for. And winning the Road Rocks competition must have played a really big part in that. So now I want to rewind. I want to go back to the very beginning, back to 1996, the year that Navicula was formed, and talk about the band's journey over the past 25 years to how they got to where they are today. So back in 1996, Robbie and Dadang met in a music studio in Denpasar. They were both still in high school at the time and they were playing in various bands. Robbie had a gig coming up with his band, but his bass player pulled out at the last minute. So he gave Dadang a call and asked him if he could fill in. And Dadang said yes, and they hit it off. They had a chemistry, and shortly after that, they decided to start a new band together, the band that we now know as Navicula. A couple of years later, in 1998, Gambul joined the band as their drummer. At that time, Navicula was a 3-member band, Dadang on bass, Robbie on guitar and vocals, and Gambul on drums. In 2002, Made joined the band as Navicula's bassist. Robbie, how did you get into music in the first place?
So, there was an activity in the school preparing a ceremony for a school temple. So all the students, boys and girls, we all overnight in the school. After the praying, we have like a free hangout time, and I try to get some attention from the girls. It's quite success in the beginning. I try to pretend to be charming, nice chat, and some girls listen. And then we have a teenage flirting night. Until suddenly, all these girls move attracted by a guitar sound that played by my friend Budiasa. And he played a classic song by Scorpion, Always Somewhere, you know. And all the girls' reaction is just like wow, it's so cool. And suddenly this guy is just surrounded by all the girls. And I just sitting like a loser, jealous boy, and thinking, oh my God, he just play a guitar and steal the attention of the girls. And at the time, I just thinking, okay, I'm going to play guitar. But after so many years, I did not start it because I don't have guitar. But that night was the first trigger why I want to play guitar. But way before that, I already love music so much. And then after that, in 1993, I'm seriously start to learn guitar because I saw Nirvana video clip Smells Like Teen Spirit appear on TV. Like. So, yeah, I start to play guitar at the time.
So it sounds like you didn't have a guitar at the beginning. How were you learning to play?
So, there's a guy in my neighborhood. He was a high school student. His name is Dodi. He always skip the school and hang out in the pos kamling. It's like a security post in every village in Bali. So this guy just spent all day hanging out there, like a smoke cigarette and play guitar. He was still student and he has no money. Right. Then I found my way, okay. So in Bali, every full moon, there are always upacara or ceremony to celebrate this full moon. In every house temple, people will make offerings, and mostly they put cigarettes in these offerings. So after they do the prayer, I just steal the cigarettes and I give them all to him. And this is my ticket to get a guitar lesson from Dodi. So he already can play some basic chords, and I thought he's already an awesome guitar player. So he is my first guitar teacher.
Sounds very creative. So Navicula's music has really strong environmental and social messages. How did that come about? Was that always the case?
I remember when the first time when you write a lyrics, everyone must have difficulty, like what I gonna write about. So my friends always give me advice. Hey, you can start writing what you're passionate about. Also at the time, I hang out a lot with friends that work in social and environmental NGOs. So I think this is interesting topic. And at the time in Bali, there is no band in my age talking about this kind of topic. Maybe this topic is too heavy and not interesting for the most musician. But for me, this kind of topics is quite unique. I got interested by this topic. I got inspired. I got moved by this topic. So if I put this topic on Navicula music, maybe this is going to be something new. Music is what I love. And social and environmental issues is what I care. So it's combining what I love and what I care. So I just do it naturally.
And where were you guys playing at the time? What kinds of gigs?
What in our mind at that time is we play as much as we can. In every village, every banjar, every show, a random show from a friend's birthday party to a random bars. And sometimes they not invite us, but we approach them. We ask, hey, can we play here? And we don't consider about the audience who's going to watch. Sometimes we play in a village and mostly the crowds are grandma or grandpas from that area. But also at the same time, the underground music scene just start happening in Bali. So the opportunity to play in a right crowd is also available. And also we were so passionate at the time. We always believe we have to play the best we could in small crowd, big crowd. We don't know who's gonna be among the audience at the time, right?
So it sounds like you were playing any gigs you could get at that time. At what point did that start to change? At what point did Navicula start to become something serious, something special?
I think 1997, 1998, we feel something good is going on this band. And 1998, we meet our friend, Oping, who offered to be producer for our first album, Self-Portrait.
And how do you feel about your first album, Self-Portrait?
It was sucks. It's like, okay, yeah. I'm proud of that album. We start this album from zero experience. I even don't have guitar at that time. So the fuel of this album, just our passion and excitement to record an album. The beauty of being naive, to express something and having opportunity to record some songs. It's already a huge moment in our lives. It's a big stepping stone. Maybe if I listen to the album again, it's very basic, very simple, but what you cannot replace is our spirit. It's like the beauty of being a amateur is you give everything you have. At the time you feel like, I don't give a shit, I don't care about how many we can sell, is this gonna make us famous? We didn't care about that. Just to got the chance to do recording at the time is already something big for us. So we do everything by ourselves, like a management, promotion, booking a gig. So one time, we bring this album to our friend's Detu in his show in the radio.
Rudolf Detu was Navicula's first manager. Until that time, Robbie was managing the band himself. Rudolf Detu, or Detu as we call him, is a well-known and highly respected writer and music commentator. He started Bali's first professional band management company and managed the band Superman is Dead. Here's Detu talking about how he came to be Navicula's manager.
Like these guys, since I was a kid, I've been into music, really heavily. And I had a chance to work in a cruise ship, so I went all over the world. So when I traveled, I spent all of my money buying CDs, buying cassettes, and buying all the magazines, books about music. And so when I came back to Indonesia, I started my own alternative radio show. And in my radio show, for the first 1 hour, I'll talk about grunge music globally. And for the second hour, we have our own grunge music band from Bali. And then I met these guys, and at the time they just released their first album. Honestly speaking, I didn't have any big respect to Indonesian music before, because in my generation, everything local, everything traditional sucks. We were so westernized. It's not a cool thing for us, So when I came back to Indonesia, I was introduced to these guys. I was so amazed. It was like, oh my God, they're so good. I was very surprised, because I was overseas almost 5 years, so I didn't really know what's going on here in Bali. At the time, I think they already made their own name in the local scene. So Superman is Dead already the biggest one, and the Postman, the Jihad, and then them. Yeah, they're already on the top 10. 1 year after I managed Superman, I think around 2004, And then because my friends, they convinced me, okay, hey bro, you said that you love Navicula and you should put them in your band management. Yeah, but I don't know, if even taking care of one band is already so hard. And then it was me who offered them, I would like to manage you.
I asked it too, what was the Bali music scene like back then?
So back in the day, before 2002, only cover bands could play around Seminyak, Kuta, Canggu. So the Beat Rock Fest came. It's a local festival organized by Stuart, who owns the Beat magazine. The Beat Rock Fest was the very first independent event who could convince the bars to have independent bands or bands who sing the original songs. So we worked together. It was quite revolutionary, which people don't really understand. But we changed the whole game at the time. These guys have to sing maybe 75% top 40 songs and then the rest your own songs. But in the Beat Rock Fest, they could sing whatever they want. The Beat Rock Fest also changed me, my personal perspective, and why I respected Navicula from the very early days. And from all the bands that played and everything, oh my God, I love this guy. From the very beginning, they're so solid, they're different, and their songs, they keep unity through art. Their lyrics always really different, really in-depth. Also, the quality of their music, this band is so tight from the very beginning.
In 2004, Navicula signed a multi-album deal with Sony BMG. That must have been a huge deal for you guys. How did that happen?
What happened was Sony Music approached me because I had a really good connection with them. And then a few months after Superman's Dead signed up with Sony, the Golden Ears asked me. He was called the Golden Ears because all of... Jan Johanna. Because all the bands that he picked became the biggest bands in Indonesia. He asked me, hey, Detu, we have a really good relationship now. The Superman's Dead is doing really well. And I think I would like to do something with another Bali band. What other band do you think is the best after Superman's Dead? So I said, Navicula is so good. I really love them. It's you think if I have them as part of Sony Music, they will be happy with it? Oh, of course. In Bali, Superman's Dead was the very first ever to go national and sign up with major label. And Navicula was the second one. It's supposed to be a good story, but I should have thought better at the time. I should have been more cautious about it.
And Robbie, how were you guys feeling about it?
As a band, we are so happy because this is our chance to get a deal with major label, which is actually a dream for most band. If you get the deal with major label, it means your work is considered the standard that can be sold mainstream. This is the first time for us to enter this kind of world. Before, we were pretty active in local independent music scene, but being in the national mainstream major industry, we never experienced that. So this situation, of course, bring a huge excitement and happy feeling.
So then what happened?
So then what happened, it wasn't as easy as Superman is Dead because Navicula were not easy to sell. And then I saw the boys was not very happy and I was not very happy as well. They waited. So I had to push Sony Music. Guys, when can we start recording our first album after we waited for like 5 or 6 months? So I had to fight with the golden years. So in the end, I just made my own decision. Guys, let's just start doing the recording, make the video and everything.
Robbie, what do you remember about that time?
There was a discussion in label at the time with our music director about Navicula concept. So we explained that our music speaks about the social and environmental issues. At the time, in Indonesia, these issues is not something familiar yet. Most of the people in industry making something that easier to sell. Pop Indonesian music mostly about young love or drama. So they expect us to make something that market wants. But I still remember I said like, no. We are going to stick with this idea, sing about social and environmental issues. Because I believe in the next 5 to 10 years, many young people in Indonesia are going to speak about these issues. And finally, after tricky and sticky negotiation with the label, then they just, let us to do whatever we like. But I can sense that they were having difficulty to sell Navicula music to mainstream market at that time. And also it's very unique time, transition from physical to digital. So at the time, social media start booming. Everyone's so excited. First Friendster, then MySpace. So all the bands using this platform, including Navicula. And suddenly, Facebook and YouTube, we will realize the industry has changed and no longer old school way, which we thought at the time, major label in Indonesia was still in old school way. Navicula will follow this change. So after making one album with the label, we realized that Navicula more fit into independent music label, and then we back to be independent.
In 2017, Gembul, who had been Navicula's drummer for 20 years, left the band. Gembul is really considered to be one of the best drummers in Indonesia. Here's Gembul talking about that decision.
I still remember the first time with Navicula. Danky and Robbie give me Seattle sound like Soundgarden, more Nirvana. It's coming to my brain, and then until now it's still stuck here. Almost 20 years I played that kind of music, and I really enjoy it, and I'm so thankful I can be everywhere in Indonesia and going to Hollywood. Without that, I never get this experience in my life. On that time, we have like a complicated situation. Navicula already got like a pretty tight schedule, for recording. We'll be doing tour to Australia. In the middle of that, like my mom got a serious disease. She got a complicated heart with kidney and doing a special treatment for hemodialysis. She just collapsed, and then while in the hospital, we're still doing the gigs and everything, rehearse and everything. But I know on that time I cannot 100% focus on things, like it's hard to make decision on that time because I already know the plan is so tight until end of the years, and they plan to do recording. The songs need to be done and need more quality time to rehearse. And then that time we decide to do the hiatus because it's like, for example, you are in the same car now, and then The car is going to the climax. Like if one wheel is not running well, maybe all the passenger in the car not reaching the finish line, and then that's why I need to stop and maybe change with the new one and go up until finish. I realized that I cannot giving 100% maximum what Navicula need on that time, because need to stay 24 hours for my mom on that time, and I becoming like a nutrition expert. I cook for her every day with special diet, because she's doing hemodialysis 3 times a week, and she survived for 2.5 years. My mom passed on Valentine's Day on 14 February, so that's what happened on that time. And I see Navicula format now I think it's different style. They got more colorful now. I'm living in the village now with my family, with my sons, and this pandemic things now makes everyone need to survive. So maybe every musician now has a limitation, but you can still work on doing something like this, like something creative, or still doing the music,
So how did you guys feel when Gumball left?
I mean, we grow up together, It's like brothers, like family, totally close, intense. And actually, me personally, broken heart. But I've still, this Navicula cannot be just like that. We need more. We totally have so much energy because we already decide we're gonna live with Navicula music. I want this band get more goals. I want to get more. And then, so when this came up, I cannot say anything.
Palal Atmoko joined Navicula as the band's new drummer in 2017. Palal, how did you feel stepping into this role? I mean, these were some very big shoes to fill. You're an amazing drummer yourself, but it can't have been easy. How did all that feel at the time?
It's very big challenging for me, because I'm a big fan of Bli Gembul, because he's one of the best drummer in Indonesia. So for me, oh shit, is this true or not? I can't believe that. Just going with the flow. Start learning Navicula song. Before that, I just listened to Navicula song for driving a bike, and that time I was like, shit, I have to play this song. I can't believe it, but it's just happened like that. I think 3 months or 4 months I play with the note. One gig in Oakmans, I remember the song is Harimau Harimau. The song is quite short, but the part is so tricky. I asked my technician, so find the harimau, not find the harimau. Hurry up, dude. He can find it because I didn't bring it to the gig, But I have to face it,
In March 2018, Made Indra, Navicula's bassist, died in a car accident. Made was Navicula's bassist for more than 16 years. He was an extremely talented bassist, a legend in the Indonesian music scene, a kind, funny, special, and very unique character, who's sorely missed by his band, his family, his friends, and his fans. Krishna joined the band a few months after Made passed away. Krishna, you had an even more difficult situation to stepping into the shoes of this beloved member of the band. That must have been really, really hard.
It is actually every time until now actually it's a big shoe to fill for me. It's not replacing Made, I think. I am just trying to be my best self to be in this position, but still sometimes there's doubt. But then I just keep going and try my best. I really proud to be in this band, but sad because we lost Blimade. It's a weird feeling for me. Yeah.
And what about the rest of you guys? A band is like your family. You lost your brother.
Yeah, that was our heavy times. You lost your partners, right? And then I needed like 3 months recovery, and then I don't even think about how to find someone to replace him. Actually, back then, I don't know how to keep the band continues what we did before, and then just quiet and thinking, and yeah, of course he doesn't want his band stop. That time, so Palace already joined with us. He's with all the crazy, passionate, all full 100%. I can feel that, okay, we have that something good for our futures. Still for me, like, it's not easy to just take it up all your memories about Made. He's a crazy, extraordinary bass player, and then he's honest, and when he got the accident, actually, everything's like totally, the world stopped spinning, stopped, just like that.
I remember after Made had the accident and he was still in hospital, I realized the strength of the Bali community and the Bali music scene at the hospital.
Yeah.
Every day there were hundreds of people there just standing by.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, because like I think he's a crazy good. I mean, like he's joined with many kind of communities back then. He's always there. He support everyone's. That's why like when what happened, that all this kind of people that I can see, he's there. He was there for everyone.
Yeah, that was really hard for me because I was like family member. So sad, and then
What has happened with Made is like a tragic accident. It's just suddenly happened, and then when we have discussion like who gonna replace Made, I know Made so well, so I believe like even he passed away, he wants this band keep continue, right? So we carry this kind of belief. Like I believe like a Made will be like a guys, if I'm not there, but I want this band still continue because we growing up together. And then it's very difficult to find, because Navicula is not, we don't want to find a good player. Bali have a massive good bass player, right? But the difficult thing is like, it's not just you being a good musician, but also you somebody that can understand the roots of the band. The idea of Navicula, we're not just entertainer, we carry a important cause. So the one who can replace Made is the one can understand this value. And also Krishna, I know him since he was kids. It's like I know Made from his kid. Krishna also good designer. I'm a big fan of his graphic designer work. Like Navicula also, we're not just audio artists, we a visual artist too. And then Krishna can feel this one of the missing puzzle in the band. So yeah, he the perfect individual that can fit what Navicula needs. So we can say like a Palel and Krishna, Navicula is kind of lucky with them.
Robbie, did you guys ever think of breaking up?
I didn't see any reason to breaking up because the benefit of us being together is more than breaking up.
So just a few months ago, you got a Lifetime Achievement Award. How did that feel?
Oh, I'm so grateful and thankful. I mean, being recognized in your own scene. This Lifetime Achievement Award is like Anugerah Musik Bali, Bali highest award for musician. It's very touching us. Like, oh my God, we are so loved and protected by our community. Sometimes, especially in the pandemic or difficult situation like this, sometimes you losing your faith. And then suddenly this kind of appreciation, especially in our birthday, yeah, it's keep the spark inside us that we have to keep giving what we can do for Bali.
But I'm guessing this is not the end for Navicula.
Nope. I don't feel like even in the 25 years, we still have a lot of things to do. We still have our dreams that not happens yet.
And you have a new album coming out.
Yes. We are in the middle of process making a new album. Our 11th album is called Archipelago Rebels. We plan to release it this year, and so excited about the fresh materials in this new album. Yeah, also the important thing, all the process, we keep it fun. Because for me, rock and roll is about having fun. It's not fun, then it's not rock and roll. And what's of the most important thing of all of this is we celebrating life. It's about the celebration.
Movements that they support, please subscribe to A Soundtrack of Resistance on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. So happy 25th birthday to Navicula. Here they are. Come on up, guys. Come on up. Happy birthday. And we're going to have the opportunity to watch them live now. So while they get ready, can I ask all of you to stand up because we're going to clear the chairs and have a really awesome party. So once again, thanks for listening, and please subscribe to A Soundtrack of Resistance. And thanks to everybody who made this video, massive team effort. You don't have to lift the chair yourself. So just a couple of minutes as the guys get ready.
Two.
So thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for staying for, I know it's a long podcast, but to describe 25 years of the journey into 1 hour, and thank you so much for all the Kopernik team, for Toshi, for Anya, for Akar, Andre, Vanessa, Gina, and Mickey, for spend 3 days without sleep editing this video. Thank you so much. And also Simon. So, yeah, it's been 1.5 years. Ubud is just silent and PPKM. So you guys ready to rock? Oh my God, cannot hear. We are in the rock show. Are you ready to rock? Bring some noise! Woo! It's our tribute to Indonesia, the emperor of the sun. We live in the equator, and this is our tribute to the sun. Dinasti Matahari. Thank you. Oh my God. You guys having fun? Ayo, selama PPKM yang jarang ke gym, sekarang ke gym. Ini bisa loncat-loncat di sini. Thank you so much for all the Uber percussion team. Don't stay away, ya. We still gonna play with you in Mafia Hukum. Hey. Next song. Lagu berikut ini bercerita tentang kondisi KPK. Yeah. Sequelnya Mafia Hukum. Lagu ini berjudul dari diambil dari album Earthship, album album ke-9. Diambil dari buku tentang novel Baswedan, judulnya Biarlah Malaikat. Keadilan tiba, aku tahu bukannya kau tak mampu, semua tahu karena kau tak tahu. Bohong, siapa yang bohong? Gigit dari para ular sehari mau ompong. Haruskah kisah sandiwara tahta Indonesia itu bukannya para satria? Biarlah malaikat yang menjagaku. Waktu yang menghakimimu. Coba kasih tahu aku cara jitu untuk membuktikan cintaku. Aku kasih hati, kau mau jantung, menunggu mati baru kau bergabung. Bohong, bohong. Siapa yang bohong? Dari para ular sang harimau ompong. Haruskah kisah sandiwara tahta Indonesia itu bukannya para satria? Biarlah malaikat yang menjagaku. Biarlah waktu yang menghakimimu. Yang bedak bungut cang sing adara. Oke, save water, drink beer, yes. Arak kopi ada, oh arahnya Pak Koster.
menghitung mundur. Hello kawan, pejamkan mata fisik kamu, tapi buka hatimu saat hidup. Saat zero yang ada cahaya inkognito anestesia indria satu hidup. Come on! Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Cari tahu siapa dirimu sebenarnya, bukan jasad tapi jiwa saat ku hidup mundur. Hormatilah iblismu, kau lahir bersamanya. Dengar dia bicara saat ku hidup. Come on! Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Betul-betul menghitung mundur bersama kami. Come on, tangan di udara semua dari angka 10. Yo, come on semuanya, tangan di udara menghitung mundur. 10. Belajar matematika. Yo, 9 kurangi 1, 8. Angka Tuhan 777. Angka setan 666. Angka manusia 555. Oleh 4, 3, 2. Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Buka mata lebih keras hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Come on! Buka mata hatimu saat ku hidup mundur. Tepuk tangan buat kalian. Next song, ini podcast juga yang udah rilis. Kalau kalian mau dengerin podcast audionya itu ada di Spotify, ada di naviculamusik.com, jadi bisa dibuka atau bisa follow Instagramnya kopernik.info dan juga Navicula Musik. Siapa tahu sambil kursus bahasa Inggris gratis. Lumayan. Anyway, one of the podcast is called Aku Bukan Mesin. Jangan memandang This song is one of our podcasts also, talking about radicalism issue in Indonesia. And the theme is Heaven for Everyone.
Yours to decide. He's just a man. Speak the same as on the scan. Yet he defines the world. What would you do? Heaven is wrong. And if I knew what is right and what is wrong, would you believe me singing this song? Come on! Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he's nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end, he's just a man. Speak the same as other skin, but yet he defines the world and its end. And if I knew what is right and what is wrong, would you believe me singing this song? Come on! Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he is nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he is nothing. Come on! Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he's nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he's nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end he's nothing. Makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end is nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end is nothing. Faith makes a man try to reach the holy land, but in the end. In the end.
Seru juga main Pak Umah ya. Punya ngeliling boleh. By the way, kita dalam proses untuk bikin album ke-11. Tadi Dinasti Matahari salah satu lagunya. Dan lagu single berikutnya itu kita kasih judul Kembali ke Akar. Yeah. Tahu artinya kembali ke akar? Interpretasinya bisa banyak kan? Kembali ke akar budaya kita, kembali ke kebijakan lokal gitu. Atau akar juga, akar itu kan bisa macam-macam rizoma kan? Jahe, rimpang, kunyit, cekuh. Mungkin kembali ke jamu-jamuan kali ya. Ke loloh ya. Loloh adalah obat pandemi. Yeah. Anyway, kembali ke akar juga bisa kayak boknya Dadang kan cerakah. Kembali ke Mas Dadang. Yuk, ngomong-ngomong kembali ke Dadang. Yuk, Dang, siap.
Kita sudah keluar mengkhianati akar, mengkhianati batang cabang ranting yang menjalar. Kita lupa daratan, air dan udara, di tanah yang dipijak dan langit yang di atasnya. Kembali ke akar, nasihat orang tua, leluhur moyang kita. Coba pikir dan rasa maksud dari semuanya. Apa yang kita punya, itu yang kita jaga. Apa yang kita punya, itulah yang kita jaga. Woo! Kembali ke akar.
Asik. Ada lagu lama dari album Salto, album yang kita rilis tahun 2006. Itu ada sebenarnya kita banyak sekali bikin lagu-lagu tentang isu radikalisme, isu fanatisme di Indonesia. Wanita Malang itu album baru tuh, album baru. Yeah. Di sini ada yang punya album Salto sih? Sing ada. Kalian pasti lekat tahun 2000-an ya konyang. Cimara lekat, raga berkena sepilis. Anyway, lagu ini dari album Salto. Judulnya Budi Si Berani Mati. Yeah. Budi, ini Bapak Budi, ini Bu Budi. Ini. Apa ya? Pacarnya Budi. Ya. Budi tuh bodoh dikit sih. Iya. Budi, bule dikit. Setengah bule.
Dari orang tua dan seorang adik tercinta yang puluhan tahun lalu merantau. Sekilas info bumi agak godau. Budi berani, Budinya mati. Budi berani, Budinya mati. Budi berani, Budinya mati.
Gila yang sing seru. Tadi teman-teman yang nonton podcastnya dari Ewa, it's like Navicula beruntung sekali ketemu orang seperti Ewa ya. Yang bukan cuma suka sama musiknya, tapi juga mengamati band ini, meneliti band ini selama mungkin hampir, how many years? 7 years, 8 years? Dan akhirnya membuatkan podcast untuk kado 25 tahun Navicula. The best gift ever, thank you so much Ewa. And all the Kopernik team, thank you so much. By the way, daripada dia, Ewa, I know the podcast is already a best gift, right? But would you like to sing, to play with us?
Yeah.
Gimana kalau mau nggak, Ewa? Ewa nyanyi bareng kita. Mau? Ewa. What you instrument you gonna play? Like a guitar, singing? Huh? Guitar? Iya kan? Or maybe your husband Toshi, suami istri.
Oh yeah.
Toshi, I'm so sorry. In the last few years, I steal your wife a lot, just for this podcast. So you know that this is the proof that she's doing the right thing. and also maybe, would you like to play guitar with us? Come on! Gimana kalau Toshi, Ewa, Toshi, Ewa, come on! Ewa, gila Ewa main drum. Can you play drum with high heel? Maybe you can borrow Palel shoes. He has small feet. Gila. Pendirinya Kopernik ternyata musisi semua. Mereka berdua adalah pendiri Kopernik, by the way. Suami istri. Kopernik adalah organisasi di Bali yang sudah berdiri 10 tahun. Dan Navicula sebenarnya kita ini memata-matai siapa aja organisasi-organisasi di Ubud, di Bali atau di Indonesia yang keren. Dan sebenarnya pertemuan kita itu dari Navicula yang ngefans sama Kopernik. Ternyata diam-diam mereka juga sama Navicula akhirnya jodoh. Jadi dalam beberapa tahun terakhir kita sering berkolaborasi, salah satunya film Pulau Plastik, macam-macam. So malam hari ini kolaborasinya adalah lewat musik. I know that you're not musician, but everyone is on the stage are musician, right? Oh my God, it's such a honor to play with these amazing people. So, karena mereka sudah naik panggung, saya minta teman-teman untuk nyanyi bareng. Jadi everyone is on the stage, this song is yours. Halo. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Yo. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Lebih keras. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Lagi. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. 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 Warna-warni kita Kita minta Tosi yang play solonya gimana? Lebih keras. Lagi. Lagi. Saya mau dengar semuanya sekarang. Yo! Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Lagi. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Dan warna-warni kita menjadi satu. Thank you so much, Tosiku. Gila. Pantasan organisasinya keren. Karena isinya rocker semua. Ewa benar-benar menjadi rocker malam hari ini. Tahu rocker? Main drum pakai rocker. Di tasnya biru tuh, di kerek-kerekan. Tadi karena di kredit dari podcastnya, video podcastnya itu kita bawa lagu Merdeka. Lagu Merdeka ini adalah salah satu lagu tertuanya Navicula, sebenarnya udah direkam berkali-kali. Sehingga untuk formasi baru, Palel sama Krishna, ada baiknya juga kita bikin yang versi terbaru dari Merdeka. Man, kapo di kerek-kerekan. Hah? Di kerean di... Coba di case gitar. Aman sih ada di kerek-kerekan. Di case gitar nih Gibson. Oh ada. Ini lagu yang ditulis waktu liriknya waktu kita masih SMA, tapi direkam begitu kita sudah kehilangan perjaka. Bercerita dulu, idenya bahwa lagu Merdeka ini tahu kan kalau anak ABG kan, pingin merdeka dari orang tua kan. Waduh, Pak kita mau ini, kita mau itu, kita mau begadang. Orang tuanya selalu kita, selama kamu di rumah dan aku kasih makan kamu, kamu harus ikuti perintahku. Lama-lama bete juga kan. Nah, kita mau bebas dari orang tua, merdeka gitu. Tapi bapaknya kita fair. Ya nanti kalau kamu udah kerja, udah ngasilin duit sendiri, mau ngapain kayak mau tunggang-tungging silahkan gitu. Akhirnya kerja ternyata pengen merdeka juga, merdeka dari bos. bos suruh kerja ini, deadline apa semua. Suatu saat saya akan punya perusahaan sendiri dan bekerja sendiri. Dan akhirnya dewasa-dewasa menikah. Menikah juga pingin merdeka. Merdeka dari siapa? Merdeka dari istri. Dari suami. Itu bagus, itu emansipasi. Memang suami, kalau aku berdiri gak pernah ngecek istriku mau dugem silakan aja. Cuma kalau aku dugem kadang-kadang gitu, begitu lihat abis dugem 18 miss call. Pingin merdeka dari suami, dari istri, dari suami, anyway. Habis itu ternyata kita berpikir bahwa kemerdekaan itu adalah keluar dari satu box bertemu dengan box yang baru, bener nggak? Jadi tiap-tiap orang pada suatu fase pingin merdeka, akhirnya merdeka nggak habis-habis. Sama seperti merdeka Indonesia, dulu memperjuangkan diri dari kolonial penjajahan, habis itu sekarang mengisi kemerdekaan, sekarang ingin terbebas, bahwa kita harus menjadi bangsa yang mandiri, begitu sudah bisa mandiri maju, ternyata belum merdeka juga kalau kita belum bisa bantu negara lain. Nah gitu, jadi kan masih berputar. Anyway, this song is called Merdeka. Wanita malam. Oh, itu Cyril. Cyril, maybe we should make just one series just for you. Karena apa? Karena dia adalah salah satu alasan Navicula bisa tetap solid. Kita banyak sekali dapat inspirasi dari dia. Cyril adalah, kalau James Bond datang ke Indonesia, pasti James Bond kontak dia. Karena dia dari dulu udah bikin ini, efek. Orang di Indonesia belum ada orang pakai Mac, dia udah pakai Mac duluan. Zaman dodol. Belum ada efek-efek digital, kayaknya dia di Bali pertama pakai line stick juga dia deh. Sekarang dia punya salah satu studio paling keren di Bali, itu ngumpet di Banjar Tengkulak, di Goa Macan. Itu studio Astaga TV. Dapur Studio. What is actually the name of your studio? You keep changing the name. Posko Studio now. Kalau dulu bahasa Cina apa? Guangzhou. Habis itu sekarang namanya Posko Studio. Dan by the way, terima kasih. Thank you Cyril. Hari ini aku dipinjemin kabel sama dia. Kabel yang hijau ini. Ini kan kelihatan kabel hijau, tapi ini adalah ular hijau. Lihat-lihat di gadang. It sounds really cool. Okay. Confirm, I gonna buy all the kabel. Harga bro. Dia juga teman-teman yang kalau peduli sama sound apa semua bisa order kabel sama dia. Agak mahal sih sebenarnya. Cuma ya asing sampai ngadap tanah lah. Oh ya, by the way, kalau ikut Navicula dari tahun 96 kita kan, tapi tahun 2003 Navicula kan deal Sony label kan, deal with the devil. Yang bikin video klip Supremasi Rasa tau? Yang aku cukurannya masih kayak artis Korea. Nah itu dia yang bikin video klipnya. Di rumahnya dia dah, saya nginep di rumahnya. Sampai akhirnya aku dapat istri juga, dapatnya di rumahnya dia. Jadi Lakota aku ketemu sama dia. Dulu Lakota pacarnya dia. Sorry Cyril. Dulu Cyril sama Lakota itu kayak Cyril Ramayana, Lakota Sita. Abis itu Raga dari Rawanan. Culik Sita tapi sing balik-balik. Hak tawan karang. Anyway. Karena untuk dedicate untuk Cyril, dia sebenarnya adalah kameraman. Menggenap bisa. Kamera jago, ngai film jago. Ngai apa bener? Ngai kabel, yani bisnis, tayan bisnis dagang sate lilit tapi bangkrut. Perkebunan lidah buaya. Wah, gila. Jadi beternak lele ya nih ya Krisna. Lele apa nila atau kolamnya? Bebetok. Anyway, kita belajar idealisme itu banyak juga dari Cyril sampai kita terinspirasi. Jadilah dirimu sendiri, jangan terpengaruh pada dunia lain, pokoknya just do it yourself, apa yang kamu suka. Yang pertama adalah kamu cinta dulu apa yang kamu lakukan, love what you do and do what you love, itu dari dia. Sampai akhirnya kita tidak terpengaruh oleh apa yang muncul di TV, dan akhirnya Navicula bikin satu lagu judulnya Television. Karena pada waktu itu isinya sinetron. Lagu ini sekarang sudah berumur lebih daripada 15 tahun. Ngawit. lagu lama masih relevan sampai sekarang. Lagu ini mungkin teman-teman bisa menirukan suara-suara hewan di hutan ya. Kita bikin beternak jadi hutan. Karena bikin lagunya di hutan. Hewan apa aja, mau komodo, mau dinosaurus silakan. Burung-burung ayo, yang cowok-cowok burung-burung ayo. Yang cewek-cewek mungkin suara kucing. Aku bermalam di rimba, di tepi sungai suara, dibuai kedamaian sempurna. Di kaki kayu raksasa, di pundak batu perkasa, ku rangkai puji bagi pencipta. Cahaya bintang, halimun membelai sayang. Di sini jiwaku pun telanjang, hanya jiwa yang telanjang. Dalam rimba yang tenang, yang mampu bedakan gelap terang. Thank you. Ini set list selama 1,5 tahun, ini set list paling maklo nih. Karena cuma kita aja yang main malam hari ini. Kan? Nah, thank you banget Mbok Tara Jegeg. Oh. Beli odek ya? Beli odek. Oh ada di luar. Oh, ya. Thank you banget. Tara yang di odek, dia adalah orang yang menurut saya adalah di Ubud berjuang salah satu yang paling keras untuk memajukan seni kreatif di sini. Bayangin punya tempat, piara tempat kayak gini. Selama pandemi hampir 2 tahun tutup. Dan sekarang kita bisa pakai lagi. Thanks so much. Your dedication to the community. It's like a love in silence. I mean, it's like I adore you. Forever. Saya panggilnya nih teman-teman. Ini dia Peleneo. Mas. Sorry, tiap ngajak mereka selalu last minute, tapi mereka selalu like on the go. Alright. Tepuk tangan dulu buat Dimas, Neo sama Pele. Sekarang kita nyanyi lagunya Sergio Mendes dan Brasil 66. Macarena. Apa-apa dari siapa nih apa-apa? Dari aku aja. Hah? Dari siapa? Oh, dari Mas Valel. Oke, Mas Valel. Siap, Cak.
Sikat, Mas.
Lagu terakhir. Are you ready? Lagu ini kami dedikasikan buat member kelima Navicula, Mas Gunawan, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, Kepalaku mau pecah, emosi mau tumpah, kota ini parah. Jangan macam bikin gerak, kita gedung-gedungnya, injak siapa yang kalah. Aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak. Wey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan. Orang anti kata aku. Aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak. Wey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan. Orang anti kataan, semua mau berlari, berlarilah sampai mati, berlarilah sampai mati, berlari sampai mati, berlari sampai mati. Aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak di sini, aku terjebak. Hey, aku ada di dalam kota metropolitan. Hey, aku ada di dalam. Hey, yeah, Thank you so much.